Hi, I'm Mark, and in this video, I'm going to show you some techniques that you can use to build an awesome hedge maze. Now, what you're seeing in front of you is not an awesome hedge maze. This is something I just threw together so that you could get an idea of some of the techniques we're going to talk about. And one of the techniques I want to talk about can't be represented here, and that is graph paper. What you want to do is you want to lay out your hedge maze map on graph paper first. Because interestingly enough, graph paper has little squares. Minecraft has little squares. And what you can do is lay it all out, make sure it works, and be ready to build. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you typically don't want to use maze maps that you find in books. You don't want to use the ones you find online unless the aisles are the same width as the walls, because otherwise they won't work out. And if you spend a little time thinking about it, you'll see why. So make sure that if you're using something like that, aisles and walls are the same thickness. Okay? Now, I'm going to fix this because it's going to bug me otherwise. And let's actually start building a maze. Okay? One of the things you're first going to want to do on your graph paper is number and letter it. So let's imagine that we laid out graph paper here, and we started numbering and lettering our aisles. Now, it's going to take a little while to get this done, but it'll definitely be worth it in the long run. So we've got our numbers. Now let's lay our letters. So this would be, let's make this D. And then we'll slide over here, C. C, we'll slide over here, get it? C, C, B, and A. Now you're probably going, why are we doing this? Well, the reason is if you start building a really huge hedge maze, you're going to find yourself getting lost and confused. Now, by numbering and lettering the rows, you can figure out where things should be going, and you won't get all confused. Now, we can get rid of this one, actually. We don't need this one because we end up with a corner that doesn't match otherwise. Let's go here, and we'll go 5. So we have no 1. We have 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you take a look here, you can tell that that, for example, is D2. And this is D3 and D4. Okay? You get the idea? This will help you transfer from the graph paper to the actual hedge maze. All right? Now, the first thing you want to do when you actually start building your hedge maze is to cut the aisles out. And what I mean by that is you're obviously going to want to sync or match the aisles. Let's put a couple more walls in here first. You're going to want to match the aisles to the aisles on your graph paper. So you can lay these out and you know where the aisles are going to be. All right? And you want them to be level. Now, what I typically do is I use coarse dirt. And this is our pathway. Now, if you use regular dirt, grass is going to grow. So unless you want that, don't use regular dirt. Use coarse dirt. You can use gravel. You can use stone. You can use, just about anything you want to use to make these pathways. Let me just throw some bushes in here. Okay? So you get an idea of what's happening here. We're walking down the path, going through our hedge maze. Woohoo! It's a huge hedge maze. You try saying that 10 times fast. Hedge maze, hedge maze. No, can't do it. So now we've got that taken care of. We've got the paved or the coarse dirt. Let's install our in-ground lighting. Now you're going to want to do that underneath your hedges. So what you can do, let's grab some light here. I'll use glowstone. Is lay this down underneath. Now, as far as the distance goes, you can kind of figure that out as you go. You probably wouldn't want to use this much glowstone. But let's just say, for example, we are. Okay, so there's our lighting. And right now you can see it. But as soon as you get those hedges on there, you're not going to be able to see that hardly at all. But yet the lighting remains the same. Good little tip. All right, so we've got the in-ground lighting. And now we want to put in some special features. Now these you should have mapped out in advance if you wanted them. Let me set the time back to 0 here. You should have mapped these out in advance, and what I mean by special features is, let's say we had a little area here that was like a garden area. Yeah, that's it. And you would reach this garden area through the hedge maze, and then the hedge maze would go off in different directions here. All right. Now this is a little special feature where you come here and you find this little area here, and it's just kind of a rest area. Maybe it's an area to confuse the heck out of people. I don't know, but you could lead paths off of it. You can make it bigger and put a fountain in here. You could put a little garden. You could put just about anything, benches, right in this area. Now, I would probably make it a lot bigger, but I think you get the idea. Now that you've got that, let's lay in some bushes, or some hedges actually. Let me go down a little bit here. All right. So as you can see, that lighting just disappears. And I'm going to build these up to 2 first. And I'm going to show you why. Come on. Now, if we build them just to 2, something happens that is okay, but here's 2. Now notice how the hedge maze seems kind of small and unexciting and not epic. Well, watch what happens when we put 3 on here. I'll almost always do 3. I shouldn't say almost, I do 3, because it makes such a big difference in how this hedge maze looks. So bear with me while I finish this off, and you'll see what I mean. There. Now watch what happens when we walk into here. Doesn't this feel a lot more epic? Doesn't it feel more like it's big and it's kind of scary and stuff like that? So typically, if you want it to look like that, I would highly recommend you use 3 shrub blocks, 3 leaf blocks to get it to that height. Now, that's my personal preference. You can do with it what you want. Now, I also put in entrance and exit portals like these, just so that you know what is what. This is the way we come out. Come over here. This is the way we come in. All right. So we get into our hedge maze. We can walk around. We can look for the exit out. Where is it? There it is. Did we find the exit, or we come back out? Yep, we found the exit. It's not unusual in a big maze to come back out the entrance and go, oh, well, that's not where I wanted to be. So make sure that the people who are using your hedge maze know where the entrance and exits are. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, you have got a opportunity here to make a lot of different hedges or mazes. You can make labyrinths out of stone. You can make fence mazes. You can make any kind of mazes. Bales of hay. Now, I'm in Wisconsin. It's not unusual to see hay mazes. See corn mazes more often. But the hay mazes are made with stacks of hay bales. So you can do that in here as well, using a lot of the same techniques. So let's go over this real quickly again. You use graph paper. Don't use a book or an online unless the aisles are as thick as the walls. Then make sure you number and letter your aisles so you don't get lost, especially if it's a really big map. Then make sure that you dig out your map as per your graph paper. Put some coarse dirt or whatever else you want to put down here so that your path doesn't grow over. Then you can plan out your special features and put those in. And then you can put your shrubs in. Maybe put some entrance and exit portals on there and just make it look cool. Do all kinds of stuff. I had one that I built that I put a park in the middle of, and then there were all the little aisles leading off of there, and it worked out really good. So take your time, make a maze that suits you, and then have fun going through it, and take your friends through it and let them go through by themselves and get lost. You can even put little prizes in and things like that. So that's about it. If you like this video, please leave a like, or best of all, subscribe. I love comments, and I hate rain on a Minecraft server. If you didn't like this video, keep it to yourself. Thanks for watching.